And so I thought to myself, well, if none of the contingencies that had driven midterm loss in the past were present in 1998, then the experience we had in these earlier six-year elections would not be present in 1998. And this experience helped to solidify my thinking about political prognostication in general and emphasize the difficulty of doing projections based on present events. It brings to mind the famous riposte of British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan when he was asked by a journalist what could possibly derail his government. He simply replied, "Events, dear boy, events." What Macmillan had picked up on is something that's largely eluded our political class, with its incessant focus on realignments in emerging majorities of both the Republican and Democratic persuasions. Political science teaches, and this is in the first month of most political science election classes, that elections move in 32-year epicycles. As fleshed out by the great, and I'm not being facetious, he is great, Walter Dean Burnham, we have years like 1800, 1828, 1860, 1896, 1932, and then things start to kind of fall apart. But on this kind of 28 to 36-year cycle where it seems like a different political party becomes the majority party in this country. And I think this concept of permanent alignments and realignments has driven a lot of the conversation and the discussion of the 2008 and 2010 elections erroneously. I'll get to that in a second, but I just have one quick thing to say about this generalized concept of it. It's my view at the end of the day that our politics are much more dependent on short-term events, these contingencies, than they are on any long-lasting coalition or realignment. While parties may seem to put together long-lasting majorities by at time winning 3, 4, or even 5 elections in a row, that's really not that unusual. The odds of tossing either 5 heads or 5 tails in a row is 1 in 16. With 55 presidential elections under our belt, by simple chance, we shouldn't be surprised to see more than a few lengthy runs for parties under our belt. And indeed, we do have a few examples, not many, but a few, of parties winning 4 or 5 elections in a row.